Hello, everybody.
Hello out there.
Good morning to you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I was looking for my glasses and I never did find them, so I got my oldies so that I can see your comments. But they're dirty. Anyway, we're glad you're here this morning. You doing all right this morning?
Yeah, I feel a little stronger this
A
morning.
little strong. You're a little stopped up, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's a lot of pollen. My deck is yellow. My car is yellow. A whole bunch of folks is yellow. Let me see what I got here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Who's here? There's Sandra. Hey, Sandra. Hope you're doing well. And there's Bernie Byrne. Bernie Byrne. Good morning, Bernie Byrne. And then there's Dee Dee and George. How you guys doing? Leslie. Hey, sweetie pie. You and Dad and all of the family. Jill's here. Where's my sister? She usually the first one in here. I'm glad you guys are here. Jill, I'm glad you're here. And Jill's been traveling a little bit, I think, haven't you? You've been going quite a bit. Quite a bit, young lady. So after we did all of this work around the house yesterday and the day, yesterday, I just didn't do much of anything. Because I think I'm recovering.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you guys are with us this morning. And my nose is running just a little bit. So bear with us if we have to sneeze or blow. And there's my sister. They're my sister, my brother-in-law. There they are. I was wondering about you, girl. I was wondering about you. These glasses, I don't know if they're going to work. You got something good on your plate this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
You have?
Always.
Always. Okay. Thank you for letting me know, Sissy. You can hear and see us. Jill's on her way to San Diego. Oh, girl.
She's in San Diego.
On her way, she said. On her way. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on out there, Miss Jill?
Jill just likes to travel. She does like to travel. And she goes quite a bit. Makes rounds. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Jill. Do it when you can, girl. Yeah. So this morning, let's see what we're going to do. Let's just go ahead and jump in, okay? Let's jump in. Let me blow my nose first. Excuse me. That's so I won't be sniffling while we're trying to talk, okay? Oh, this has been a busy week for us. Brother Blue's here. Hey, Brother Blue.
Good to see you back.
Yeah, he's back home from the hospital. Thank goodness. I'm glad he's doing okay. And there's Kathy just popped in. Hey, Kathy. Good morning, sweetheart. She's moving from Florida to Charleston, South Carolina. Wow. You guys are moving. That's something. Well, I hope it's a move because of something good, not a move because of something bad, sweetheart. Charleston's I like Charleston. We went there once, didn't we?
I think we did.
Yeah. I like Charleston. I think it's nice city. Nice city.
Yeah, briefly.
I like the way I like the ambience of Charleston.
Oh, she's going for a workshop.
Jill's going for a workshop.
Yeah,
Jill's going for a workshop. So anyway, let's do this quickly and not quickly. Just let's do this.
Miss Jill, I'd like to get in on some of your workshops. I bet that would be interesting.
What's the workshop about, Jill? Let us know. And what you want to get in on a workshop?
Yeah, I'd like to be in it.
Yeah.
I mean, just be there and see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's do this and repeat after me, okay? Let's take a deep breath in. And release it now. And take another deep breath in. And let it go. And let all residual tension go with it. One more deep breath. One more. and release it. I give thanks to thee, O God, for my existence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for your presence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for this awareness, for the awareness of my existence. And I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. And so it is. And so it is. Now, Jill also said that Charleston is near Monk's Corner. Yeah, that's down there where Norman is, Pastor Norman is.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, you might be able
That's
to
where we
catch.
we stayed over there in Charleston.
Right, Kathy, you might be able to catch Pastor Norman, who's with us on Tuesday nights. He lives in Monk's Corner, and his ministry is down there. You might be able to catch him and get to see him personally. And she said she's going there to be closer to her granddaughters. Yeah, and her daughter. That's good. That's good, sweetheart. That's good. That's a good move. Good move. Now, Jill says the workshop is to help people with their research.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you teach them how to do the research, or what do they do in the workshop, Jill? Let me know. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, let us know. So in the meantime, I'm going to do this. I want to point out what we are to refresh our brains. We are, in essence, eternal beings. We are, in essence, immortal beings, which means we are beyond physical death. What we are cannot die. We are non-physical, definitely non-physical, because we're not our bodies. Our bodies die, but we do not. And we are multidimensional beings because we live in more than one world. We live in this physical world. We also live in a spiritual world. And I believe there are other, many dimensions. And the scripture that says, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. That means many dimensions. And we are able to be in those dimensions simultaneously. That's the thing. And we're not always aware of that, but we are living, and Pastor calls it the doppelgangers. It's your doppelganger. It's also living while you here in this physical world are living. And then we are vibrational beings. We are emitting energy all of the time. And lately we've been running into some that's got some energy that we don't quite like. But yeah, we're energy beings. And therefore, vibration is what affects us. And vibration is how we create. And now where we come from, the source of where we come from, we're extensions of source energy. And source energy is just another word for God, universe, supreme being, the Father, whatever your terminology is for that. We are extensions of that, like the rays are extensions of the sun. They're not the sun, but they are the sun because they're extensions of the sun. We are expressions of that one. And we are fractals or pieces of divine consciousness walking around in the earth. We are emanations of the source. We are that God expresses itself through. And we are manifested aspects of God. We are presenting God all the time. And that is when the ego is not in the forefront. You see and sense God through a being. And then there's what we do as essential beings. We emit energy, and I think I said that before. We are frequency holders, and we are reality shapers. We are conscious creators, and we are field generators. I like the one field generators because a lot of times when we need miracles and things like that happening, we'll seek people out who are able to do those, uh, work those miracles. And that's because the field that's around them and that they're generating is the field of miracles. So we what we are and where we come from and what we do, and this is what we are becoming. Now I use the word becoming, but I don't really believe in becoming too much, but this is just for the sake of clarity. We are becoming genius creators because a lot of us have that uh, ability, but we don't know how to use it. And so the becoming is the learning to master it. We're co-creators with source. We are embodied consciousness. That's really a good one. Embodied consciousness. We are embracing and discovering and having self-realization, and we're now learning to embody it, meaning we're walking it out and living it. Living expressions of intelligence. Creation made self-aware. So this is who we're becoming. What you think of that, Pastor? You like that?
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking about that in that line, and it said, "When it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by His grace to reveal His Son in me as me, that I might preach Him." And the preaching is not like we're preaching now. Uh, Preach Him among the heathen. Immediately I be uh, conferred not with flesh and blood. Uh, we have people who in the pulpit prepare their sermons to speak to the congregations or a group of people, but what I'm trying to say is in words. It's not a word to be said, it is something to be revealed. But when Paul said, please God by revelation, by direct experience, a lot of the preaching that I used to do, but I never did do too much. Uh, I could do much beyond direct experience because that's what
Yes, true.
I was brought into it through a direct experience of seeing.
That's true.
Uh, the seeing part of me was always there, and it's in everybody. But over the years, I've cultivated it to where I could understand what it means to see. And so when Jesus appeared to me, I I didn't know that there was a part of me, the real me, that was actually there. If there was ever a day one of birth, that is in everybody on the earth, the real you is the Christ eternal self. And some people in church believe that they don't have eternal life by the deception of the ego mind. They don't believe they have eternal life until they get saved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you go back and if you believe in the Bible and the books in the Bible, it'll tell you that before you were formed in the belly, you existed.
You existed as something,
as
as
something that could never die and
Yes.
could never be born.
Yeah.
But the trick took place when we came here and lost our memory. And when we lost that memory, it took us away from the actual experience of who we were inside of God
Yeah. Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
eternal self. And
Yeah.
I took
Yeah.
notes here.
Well, Pastor, before you move forward, you said something crucial there. And when we were inside of God.
Yeah.
We were inside of God. And a lot of us
And to be honest, we never really got outside of him. It's the illusion
right.
of the ego mind and separation conditioned mind that cause that to seem like we out of him.
Yes, yes.
And that's what we call spiritual warfare. But
there are so many of us who never even had the thought that we were inside of God before being in this
that's
body.
right. We always see we were inside our mother and father.
And the truth is, according to Acts, if you go back to the reference of the Bible, we all are still inside of God.
That's right.
In him we live.
Never left.
In him we live, move, and have our being.
That's right.
That has we've
live,
never
move.
We've never left God.
Yeah.
We were born or created, I won't say created, but we were in God as a thought that God had. So God imagined us into existence, and we've never left God.
To really say it like it should be said, we were never created because we've always existed. Mm-hmm. Anything that is eternal is not created.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
And that part of us that leaves these bodies behind is eternal.
Yes.
Whether in or out of the church, religion or belief, unbelief, hell or heaven,
well, now
you are still eternal.
In order to understand, I won't say understand, in order to grasp what we're saying,
it took a while to learn that.
And embrace it, not only does your concept of yourself have to change, your concept of what you believe God is has to change. Because a lot of us, I don't know if those who are listening to me now think this way, but a lot of us started out believing that God was someone, this big man in the sky, or this big being in the sky up there somewhere, and we're down here. That was the concept, and that I have to connect with that God that's up there.
Yeah.
And the only way we had of connecting was to get what we call saved and have the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit,
or sit under somebody that's teaching you and taking you deeper into separation.
And be baptized in the Spirit and those kinds of things. And then we supposedly learn to hear from God because the Spirit of God was in us. So this was the concept. And so now we're finding out we started in God because we are the thought that God had about us or of us. We wouldn't exist if God wasn't thinking of us as us. God actually imagining us into existence, we wouldn't exist. And then we imagined that we came to an earth, and that is not true. We're still in God.
But direct experience, just what you're talking about is direct experience is the revelation that Paul talked about here. It was revealed to him.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
Yeah. And so the earth, we are still in God. The earth is in God. Everything that we know is in God.
I didn't know you could know something and it still not be revealed.
True. Yes, I can learn it because I've heard it or read it, embrace it, but it's still not.
How many people going to church now in religion and in different sect of different titles of religion, Buddha and all that other stuff, and in Christianity even is never said in the pulpit, never emphasized that the word of God is the Christ eternal self direct experience. Without, if there was never a Bible or book ever written, if somebody could say when we started out what we're talking about now, the Bible would be totally different on paper than what we over the years down through generation have changed.
Yeah.
It's been changed to capture and imprison us into something that we've always been into something that we got to get.
Yes, yes. And our focus has been on trying to get.
Yeah.
And trying to connect, trying to get, and not fully understanding that there was nothing else to get, but to become fully aware of it already being. And that's why our concept of God, my concept of God has drastically changed because I don't have my mind can't put a face on God. It can't put a shape on God. It can't put an image on God. because God is faceless and imageless and formless in the sense that it is everywhere and in everything, and everything is in it. So, but God is not in it. It's a very divine intelligence. It is the source of everything.
Some people think that the calling of God of an apostle, I call them possums, apostles, is when you been called by the elders and you set up a bunch of churches.
Mhm.
But Apostle Paul said, when it was revealed to me by revelation, he said, I communicated it.
Not with.
Yeah, he said, I went up by revelation, direct experience. He said, and communicated unto them that gospel which I preach among Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation, lest by any means I should run or had run in vain. Now, this what he's saying is there are some people that listening to us would not in a way believe that they existed as an eternal self before they got saved.
Or before they entered the body.
Before they entered the body.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you entered the body, listen to this. Listen to this is it. Before you entered in a body, you had to be an essence of God. And then too, after you entered the body, what formed the body inside of the body is the essence that you've always been. So the eternal self is what formed these bodies. And I wrote it on my notes here. Jesus took this form, our form, in the body, inside of somebody, in order that he may walk as us and have always been walking inside of every man, even though they have the conditioned mind that says born in sin and shaped in iniquity. If we were born in sin, that means we were born in the big lie of not knowing God until we get saved. Now, we all came from the essence of Christ.
Of course. Yes, we did. Now, Jill's asking a very a good question here. And I think it's worth mentioning. She says, how are we one with God? And God is one with everyone, yet the Bible says to be separate and come out from among them. Separate or one. It can be confusing. Now, I want to say this.
Okay, I can understand. I just been reading about that.
I understand it too, because there are persons that we know that we are now in the midst of coming out from among them, right?
Okay.
There are people that we've interacted with that were toxic in certain times, and we have decided not to try to be with them. That's coming out from among them. Being one with is different from being one. And I want to try to explain that. Jesus did not say, I am one with my Father. Jesus said, I and my Father are one, not two. So that means
one and the same.
One and the same. Now, when we are one with another being, another person, that means the joining of the personalities, the joining of the two bodies, the joining of minds, the joining of purpose, the joining of the meaning or the mission in life. So that's different from being one. Being one with is different from being one. I hope that makes sense.
Now here it is. When it says separate and come out from among them. Now here's the mystical side of this.
Okay.
And I have it on my notes. I wrote it all down in my book and notes. I didn't bring my book in here.
You know it.
But I got my notes.
But you know it.
Yeah, okay. As you go into everybody in this dimension of this story is not going to wake up to their true identity at the same time. And the reason why,
And maybe not at all.
and not at all,
Mhm.
it has a lot to do with the sacred contracts that we fill out to
Mhm.
be an instrument
Mhm.
to the opposite party,
Or the role we have to
or the
play
role we have to play.
in order to
If
cause
I would
certain
come
things
out and
to
say,
happen.
some people are sent here to be a problem so that others could find out beyond the problem
Yeah.
who they are.
Yeah.
We,
And they
I heard it said in the
consented-
prophetic that we are each other's school.
And they consented to that role before coming here.
And it took me a while to accept this, Miss Gio, that when they said come out from among them, let me tell you something that happened that I found out. If you go through what many have gone through with the weight loss Monjaro diet, with the injections
Or the bariatric surgery.
or the bariatric surgery,
Mhm.
here's what happens. There are some gremlins, or what do you call that?
The hormone called gremlin.
A hormone called gremlin in the
Yeah.
stomach
Mhm.
that communicates with the mind. These gremlins, after surgery and taking the Monjaro, are shut down to a degree to where the food that you're craving, that you used to crave for, it changes your desires. Now watch this. When I started out in this, I noticed in the classes that we went to, there are some people who go through this surgery. And this surgery that I'm talking about is exactly what you're talking about when it says the world and separation from it. This waking up to our true identity is a type of surgery that takes place in the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind programming of being the conditioned, fallen, sinful self is tampered with severely by your eternal self,
Yeah.
the mind of Christ in
Yes.
every man.
There's a dismantling that takes
It
place.
disarms, it unpower
Mhm.
that identity.
Disempowers.
It
Yeah.
disempowered. Now,
Mhm.
this is what I'm telling you. I was sitting in classes, and there are people who are actually miserable because they had this surgery and they're taking the Monjaro weight loss, and they can't sit at the table with other people because they're eating everything that their conditioned self conditioned them to eat in this world. They were told, and we are told, not to eat certain things because with the surgery and that diet, it will upset the programming that is put inside of the subconscious. They sit at the table, and some of them try to eat the same food and it make them sick.
Mhm.
Or some of them sit at the table and make themselves eat because they want to be joined in and in fellowship around the table.
They want to be one with.
That old mindset.
Mhm.
Now, when it says the world in what you're saying, it means this. The world is that mind that says, eat everything, do everything that you've been doing. And if you, then they say, none is perfect. I guess not. If you in that mind of the old identity
Mhm.
and got the pure self inside of that, or the stuff inside of you that will shut down that old mind, it seems like there's a conflict of interest.
Mhm.
The conflict of interest is the world. That world is inside of every conditioned mind, and the world is inside of every person that disobey the drug effects of the Monjaro that says shut down. You ever notice if you ever fast to be on a diet, your mind wants to eat and you say no. The Monjaro and the surgery says no, but the mind that wants to keep eating crazy is still there saying, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. You got to have it. You desire it. You have a taste for it. You have a taste for it. And eat it. It won't hurt you. I got people come to our house who had the same thing that cannot lose weight, and they swear by a lie of the conditioned mind that they're losing. And every time I see them, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's because that finite mind that was conditioned of self-destruction of the old self, old patterns, old habits, is still there, and they don't know how to not listen to it.
So you said,
That's the world.
yeah, you said
That's the mind of the world.
yeah. So you went all the way around the world to tell us that. So I
Uh-huh.
understand
All
what you're
around the
saying.
world.
So being one with is different from being one.
That's right. And the sabotage is still there, but we still haven't gotten deep enough. Now remember this. Everybody don't, it says, it's put it like this. There are some people say, I believe God for my weight loss. I believe God, which means there are some people who are fictitiously trying to use faith, foolishness, and presumption in the walk of the Christian life, called faith and its presumption, such as you can have what you say. That's mental. We studied that over and over again for years out of the Hagenites and the faith teaching, and couldn't to find out it throws a lot of people into the world of misplaced identity, trying to use a system of positive thinking to make changes, and they fail at it.
Now I'm going to mention
when it said, Paul said by revelation, he went up to a certain place. That means that he found out how to ignore the conditioned self in such a way by a direct experience of seeing Christ, God, Jesus on the Damascus Road. Everybody don't have that experience in this dimension, but everybody have the memory in them of where they came from, which is the same as Paul seeing Jesus on the Damascus Road.
And the capability capability of getting their memory back
of who they really are before coming into this world. And that will take a supernatural revelation of God in each person, just like that stuff in Monjaro. It would take something beyond the natural for you to change the way you see yourself.
When we say supernatural revelation, it doesn't have to be a big vision.
No, like thunder, lightning,
and all that. Doesn't have to be you all of a sudden are transported or translated,
out of body experience and death.
We're not talking about that kind of.
No,
it could come in such a brief.
Grace gave me that experience, which everybody may not experience.
Right. But it also can happen just with really small, with incidents.
Very simple.
Certain incidents that take place in your day-to-day life can cause your eyes to come open too. So that, I want to mention, hey, Robert, man, I hope you're doing well, you and Denise. He said, and he's using the analogy of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. He said, dear Dorothy, come out from among them. Separate yourself from the illusion that there is someone else here besides you. And there's someone else here besides what you are. And the you that he's talking about is not this body. It's not this body, not this mind. The you that is the essence of life that is here. There's not many of us. There's just many bodies. But it's the same you in everybody.
Yeah.
It's the same you in everybody.
Some people
I say that again, so we get it.
The same
it's the
you.
Same you in everybody.
Okay. The same you.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different you, no different self. The lie is we are different because of appearances.
Because we got bodies.
Bodies, sound, thinking, all that stuff. But none of that is the real you doing that.
Yes.
It is allowed to do that. But now, looking at this. I researched Carl Jung, all of this stuff. I'm telling you, I searched everything. And I didn't know that who I was studying and searching for was already who I've always been. And all of a sudden, like you read the funny books and you see this little cloud over the person that's talking, it said, "Bing," the light came on. When the light came on, I realized It took a long time. It took over 50 years for me to get to this place where I saw and see the truth in every man.
Now, I have to admit that one of the strongest values that we as human beings have is the sense of belonging. We really want to belong.
Yeah.
Uh, we,
Oh my God.
we will do, a lot of us will do almost anything to just belong to somebody, some group, or something that everybody else is involved with. So that sense of belonging a lot of times makes us join with others. And joining is not the same as being one. Joining is finding unity in the way we think, the way we feel, in our mission in life, all of those things. Those we have a common bond based on our lifestyle, or we have a common bond based on our culture, like all Black people, or all white people. I mean, that's a common bond, but that is not one. That is the joining of, and that is unifying myself with personalities because we are similar. And that's not the same thing. And so I think in that scripture passage that Jill mentioned, it was talking about trying to join and unify based on our similarities and our agreements. And that is not what one is. So even in these spiritual communities, we're not one because we all agree with the same truth. That's
right.
not what makes us one. What makes us one is we're all the same self in many bodies. And I hope that makes sense.
In my investigation into near-death studies, I can almost count on both of my hands, and maybe give or take a little more, of the people that have near-death experiences, even the most graphic, detailed ones that go over there. I've studied them from day one. 57 years I've investigated into this. Very few go over there and find out that they are the one and the same Jesus Christ standing in front of themselves, looking back at themselves.
Now, Jill mentioned something here, and it bears repeating because of what you just said. Said Jesus entered the illusion to heal people. Exactly. He did, because he realized they really weren't sick, but they believed they were sick. And then she says, and was one with the I am in people at the same time. Now, this is where I want to tweak it just a little bit. He was never one with. He was the same self.
That thing. We say one with, but he was the same
self in them. He was them. So he healed himself when he healed them.
So I'm sitting here.
He healed them because he was the self that was already health, and he was that.
Here's what was direct information to me in the council chamber. When I looked up, this is direct experience, not by book. After years, I'm just now beginning to hear people talk like this. I saw, when I looked up in the ceiling, my name in the ceiling. And I looked at Jesus, and he told me, he said, Clifton saw your name in places. In heaven is his name in heaven. My name on earth is his name.
In other words, he uses your name in heaven and in earth.
So when the Father, if you're going to say it like when the Father see him in heaven, he see us.
Yes. Now, Robert says this, and that's good. Robert, thank you. He says, treat all others as you wish to be treated, because there is no one here but you.
And that's the Christ.
The same self.
The same self.
In many bodies.
Now, can't you guys hear the big war that's going on in Iran and the war that's going on in the United States amongst each other? Can't you see the big deceptive lie of separation, individuality that we are in the midst of in a war? That war is an illusion, but it seems so real in the finite physical world that it is a trick, I call it a dark, it's called the shadow self trick.
It is the shadow self, yes.
It's a
It is
conditioning.
it's the
It's a
shadow.
sickness.
It's the shadow of all of us.
Yeah,
Or I should say, it's the
of
shadow.
all of the
It's the
misplaced
shadow
identity.
of the one that we are.
Yeah, the misplaced identity is being empowered by the illusion that we are separated from each other and not the
And
same
that is an
in each
illusion.
other.
That is the same illusion. I use this as example all the time. The room that you're in right now, the room that you're in right now has within it air or oxygen, whatever you want to call it. And outside your house or whatever room you're in, there is air, oxygen, whatever you want to call it. And the only thing that separates the air that's in the house from the air that's outside is a wall. It's the same with us. We're the same air. We've just been separated by the walls of the body. And I think that
Now, here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is. It's the answer to Jill's question.
Okay.
Paul said in Galatians 2:18, if you're going to go about it, but these are words that just explaining the unexplainable. For if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. For though, but through the law, I am dead to the law, that I might live unto God. Now listen to this. This is why Paul wrote this by revelation. I am crucified with Christ. Jesus didn't come here to be crucified so we could go to heaven. That's where we came from. He came here and took that part of us that is the big lie and the illusion of the mind and the subconscious. He put it to the cross for us to wake up to the true identity that we've always been, the same self in every man, everybody. Here's what he said: I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me as me. Now, when you go back, this is what sparked us 50 years ago to investigate. And my chin dropped when I said, wait a minute. Are you telling me that if when I walk to the back side of the cross, I can see me and everybody? I saw a vision of Jesus with the cross dragging it to Golgotha, the crucifixion place. I looked at the cross, and at the end of the cross that was dragging the ground, this is what was illustrated to me. I saw demons, Satan, darkness, the false identity, the false self, the lying self, everything that's going on in D.C., left and right side, Republican and Democrat. I saw all of that dragging behind the cross. And he took the darkness, as you might say, Luciferian principle, he took it all to the cross and killed it, wiped it out. So if it's been wiped out, what is it that makes us think it's still there? The clue to this is that it has to be revealed to you from inside information by revelation, what I'm saying to you. Me talking to you about it, preaching about it, fasting about it, praying about it, going to different church about it. You can go to all these places and never hear until the spirit of your eternal essence speak it inside of you by revelation.
I'm going to read something if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
And it's just this passage of scripture just opened up to me because all of a sudden I'm able to read it without my religious mind. Because I'm not reading it with my religious mind, I hear coded within these words what we're talking about today. Now, it's in 1 Corinthians 12. It's the passage that's talking about the gifts of the Spirit. Now, I want to read it, and we're going to look at it for a moment without religious context. All right? In the fourth verse, it says, now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit.
All right, same Spirit.
Now listen, pay attention to the same.
Same. How many times are you going to say same?
Okay. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. There are diversities of operations, but it is the same God,
again, 3 times,
which works all in all.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given, now he's making a difference of distinguishments
Uh-huh.
here. To one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same
That's 4
Spirit,
times.
to another faith by the same
5
Spirit,
times.
to another the gift of healing by the same
6
Spirit,
times.
to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But all these, now listen,
Okay.
without your religious mind, but all these work that one and self-same
That's
Spirit, or same
7.
self, listen,
Yeah.
or same self
Yeah.
Spirit. Okay.
7 times.
Dividing, distinguishing again to every man severally as he wills. Now that's clear as the nose on your face.
7 or 8 times he said
The
that.
same self spirit.
That's it.
All of these
No separation.
work
Same.
by the same self spirit.
When I saw Jesus, and you did too, he was not a black man, white man, blue man, purple man,
He was not, but he was.
but he was all of that. And when I looked in his eyes, as I look back, was the color of every eye in the universe.
And that wasn't when we say it was the same color. He didn't show distinguished colors in the eye. It was just a color that was all colors.
The Ethiopian Bible said he was black. Somebody said in the Jewish circle he was a dark-skinned man because of the heat sun. But when you see him in his fullness, you don't see racial discrimination.
Right, and we say him because Jesus is our guru, the two of us.
Yeah.
Jesus will always be our guru, and we will have always allegiance to Jesus Christ because Jesus led us into oneness. Now, I don't know about everybody else and how they get there, how they get their direct experience, but this is who led us into it.
So somebody asked me, who was first, Muhammad or Jesus? You know who was first? All of us.
The same self.
The same self.
The same self.
The same eternal self.
The same self in many bodies.
Different cups, same juice. That rests my case. The case is settled.
Now, the problem we have, and it's not really a problem, but what we experience day to day is when we interact with other people, we, in our getting lost in thought and lost in the preoccupation of,
that's what being
survival
lost in sin
and lost or preoccupied with the desires and wants that we have in this world and the needs that we have in this world. We often forget that we're looking at ourselves when we look at the other person, and then we mistreat the other person.
Now we understand what it means to be lost in sin and shaped in iniquity. Lost in
the misidentification,
true identity.
And
shaped, and then turn around, go to school, go to college, go everywhere. Just being in here reshaped our vision of self.
So anytime there's mistreatment of another, it's because you've gotten preoccupied with those things of this world, and the veil has blinded you from
identity.
what you're
the veil.
Yeah.
Now that veil, okay, listen to this. Also was taken to the foot of the temple veil during the time Jesus was on the cross. It said when he gave up the ghost, the veil in the temple was split from top to bottom. I was taken to this veil. This veil, in research of years, was supposed to have been so heavy in material that it would take a team of mules to pull it apart. This is what the theory says. But here's what I saw. When the veil was split from top to bottom, I saw a being at the foot of the veil and at the top trying to sew it back. Had a hook needle trying to put back what was split and divided in the sense of awareness of our true identity. I saw this. And I looked and I saw also in these beings that was trying to sew the curtain back, I saw marks in them. And that was when I saw the dark world can recognize what Paul said, we bear about in our bodies the marks of the Lord Jesus. We carry the actual nail prints in our feet and our hands.
In our energy body.
In our energy body, which means we are understanding your full authority will cause you to experience again what Jesus experienced when he went in the temple to read from the book of Isaiah. He caused the false self to be exposed from the subconscious mind of somebody in the temple, and it spoke as the evil spirit, false identity, false self, and told Jesus to leave them alone. And Jesus didn't even go there to disturb them. His presence of knowing who he really was in fullness disturbed the false truth.
Now, I want to mention that you'll hear pastors say, I went there, I saw this, I was taken, all of that. And most of you who've been around him long enough, you know that's his mode. And so that happens because now, and you know, we're both as different as night and day. He calls me left brain. And so our learning strategy
we still
totally
yeah,
I know, but our learning strategy is totally different.
Yeah,
my learning strategy is through language, and you say it to me and then I've got it. In his case, he has pictures, and he's actually, that's been very developed in him to have imagery. And so when God teaches him, he teaches him through something he can see.
Yeah,
it's a lesson.
Yeah,
it's a lesson. So you might say, well, Pastor
it's
has all these experiences, and yeah, he does, but it's because that's his learning strategy. He sees and he learns from what he sees. So that's why I'm saying that to say this: while we all are one, we're still distinguishable because of our differences in our personalities, in our temperaments, and all of that. So we're never going to be clones of one another.
That's right.
Yeah. So oneness doesn't mean cloning.
And in my study, it's called meditation, imagery, and delivery.
So I think now what we're doing today is we're kind of clarifying and really trying to attempt to see what oneness really is. What does it mean to be one? And I think a lot of us have misconceptions. I know I've had misconceptions about what it means to be one.
So over the years, what I've done is investigate into this place in me and every man, everyone on the earth. How do you see? How do you hear? How do you taste? I went into it fully aware after understanding the temperament of the same spirit, the same self in every man. I found out how to do it.
Yes.
And how it works.
So now we are thank you, Pearl. She says same spirit, but operating from a different consciousness. Therefore being on different frequencies, exhibiting. Yes. And I want to say, maybe not so much, I'm going to add to what you're saying.
Okay.
Different consciousness, but same consciousness, but consciousness being preoccupied with one or another thing. And I just had another epiphany about a passage of scripture, and it says, this is in James, and I'm reading this without my religious mind again. Yeah, a vibration, a reverberation. Yes, a reverberation. She says, yes, Pearl, you're so right. And in James, I'm reading this without my religious mind again. Okay, all right. In the first chapter and the 22nd verse, I'm going to start there. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. 23rd verse says, for not with your religious mind. Now listen to this, okay? For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he's like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholds himself, goes his way and straightway forgets what manner of man he was.
Mm-hmm.
We are the same self looking at each other and mirroring each other back to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk away from that mirror sometimes thinking there is a separate being and forget who we are. That's what that's saying.
Now, here's what happened. I'm standing in the council chamber. I'm seeing myself, seeing my angel, being me, and seeing Jesus at the end of the table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing all of this in 3 or 4 dimensions at once.
Mm-hmm.
I also could see myself turn around and not move my head and see behind me 190 degrees. Is that right? 190 degrees?
360.
360, okay.
190 is halfway, 360 is all the way.
360. All right, all the way. I was in the 360 and the 190
Well,
at the same
whichever.
time.
You were able to see it.
All right. When I looked down at the table in the council room, I could see through the table to the bottom of the chairs and who it was that was there before I got there as a member of the triune board.
So it's another
It
was another lesson.
It was
given
another
to you.
school and a
It was
lesson
another lesson
training me how to use vision. Now, Miss Pearl.
Not only that, it was telling you that they're all one.
Yeah, they're all one.
All one. They're the one.
Same energy.
Self. Same
energy.
self.
All right.
Yes.
Miss Pearl, I'm working on pants and sewing. When I get ready to add something to a pair of pants, while I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm looking at the pants.
Mm-hmm.
I can see while I'm talking to people what I'm going to do to alter them. I might take a ruler or I could take a straight stick and use it as a measuring stick for the width, the length, and the size. Okay? I don't have to use a ruler because I am the ruler. I'm the measuring stick. So now I'm working on some pants now that I've been working on for months. I could have finished them up, but I like while I'm in bed or sitting down, closing my eyes in my closet and looking at them complete. I may go back and change the picture and the image. But if many of you that have been over here to my house, you see the toys that I make on my table in the garage. I didn't get those toys from paper. I got them from pictures. Mm-hmm. I got a model I looked at. Mm-hmm. I don't measure the size wheel. I pick out the wheel based on the vision. Mm-hmm. When I was a little boy, I used to go out to the highway they were building right next to my house, Cherry Marshall Expressway. They had those big earth movers there and the bulldozers, D9, D11 Caterpillar tractors. I would crawl up on them, look inside them, get underneath them, and watch them.
Now, what you're talking about now is your creative abilities.
Right.
And this
Through
is how
pictures.
Creation is done.
When I was in school, the teacher didn't let me do the work of the school in the class that everybody else doing. I was drawing. Mm-hmm. And I would look out the window from Carver Crest School to the trains that were going past. And when I go home, I see them. I would go home and make them.
Chris said short stick.
Yeah. And I'd go home and make them, and I'd draw pictures of them. I fell in love with one of the little girls in the 6th grade, 5th and 6th grade. And I sat there in the classroom instead of doing the classwork, I was drawing pictures of her. I drew an exact photograph picture of the girl and showed it to the teacher and showed it to her. Now, I never did go to the girl's house. I remember carrying her books home one day when I was in the 6th grade to her house, which she didn't live too far from the school. But I did not marry her. I did not date her. I was attracted to her. It's called, what's it called? Love. Puppy love. That's right. Right.
Sometimes puppy love is real, though.
Now, when they had class reunions in high school, after we got out, they were in a place where they had a meeting, and this same girl asked about me, And they told her that Clifton Sawyer is now a pastor over church. I did not go to the class reunions because I didn't see it was necessary. But they was asking about me. So I finally went to one in one of the churches they had in Winston-Salem, and I had a chance to see some of the people. But the girl that asked about me was not there. And besides, when we got in high school, growing up, I was not anywhere attracted to her at all.
Okay.
But my point is that pictures and images,
That's your mode.
that was my
That's your
mode.
mode. And that's how God teaches you.
That's the way he
That's
taught me.
how your lessons
I
come.
remember the
Yeah.
pictures.
Your lessons come like
That's
that.
it.
Mine come with words and contemplation. So it's totally different for each being. We're
Yeah.
all going to be distinguishable, even though we're one.
I built additions onto this house like awnings. What I built, I saw inside of me. I saw the pictures.
And so
All I had to do was look one time. I could build one of y'all out of wood. One thing I did master in this seeing is how to take wood and make it act like metal.
Well, he'll make anything out of wood. If
I could bend it.
Yeah, he'll work.
I found out how to bend wood and make it turn a certain direction.
Mm.
It's all in pictures.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
these images of the Christ self that we are in our true identity has not changed. What has changed is the mechanism.
Type this in. We are the same self spirit. Type that in. We are the same self. Same self. Mirroring back to one another. Type that in. Type that in.
Here's one thing I want to say. These pictures have to be something that gets my attention. These pictures have to be something that I like, or some of these pictures that I see I don't like. But because I'm open, I can see it all. I can see the good side, the bad side, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the good marriage, the bad marriage. I learned how to use it to the advantage of the eternal self.
So now, if and it is true that we are the same self, and we're actually mirroring back to one another through one another ourselves, then that means when there's altercations, when there are disagreements, when there are things that happen that appear to be toxic, we are faced with the truth about ourselves to some degree. I'm not sure how that all works on the physical in this earth plane, but I know that it's true. So whenever there is a problem for myself, whenever there's a problem between me and another person, I know that it's not on the level of that oneness. I know it's not on that.
There you go.
I know it's not on that level.
You know, that's the
of the
world.
Christ, because we both are that. However, through our personalities and all of our identities, multiple
That's the shadow
identities,
self.
there are disagreements and conflicts. But my initial reaction will be point the finger at the other and say they are wrong. But then at some point within that, the problem happening and you dealing with it and talking about and rolling it over in your mind, at some point the question should be asked, what is the truth that's in this that I'm supposed to see? What am I supposed to see about myself?
What am I supposed to see?
And so that I can know that when these things come up, they're not just happening just because we're here, but they're actually mirroring something back to us. Now that doesn't mean a person who's stealing, you're looking at them steal, that you're a thief. That doesn't mean that. But it does mean something within their demeanor and the way they're doing things and why they're doing things has some bearing on you. And so there may be something here that has the same behavior, the same thought patterns, the same motives, the same feeling, something. So it's not to so much do introspection, but it is to ask the question, is it me? When there's a problem with another person, is it me? I have to ask that question. And you will not see the truth about what's about to be dismantled in you until you ask that question. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I said that to you.
I asked the right questions and I had the research how to talk from the Christ self and not to the Christ self. I had to find out how to talk from and see from the Christ self in order to look at the Christ self in everybody I meet. After understanding how this works, let me share this with you. Serious business. Once you start operating from your essence of being everybody the same Christ, the desire to want to be around certain things
Drops off, doesn't it?
drops off and is no longer
Mhm,
a work or a labor
mhm.
or trying to be different from others
Right.
or trying to stay away from them.
And
You
not,
automatically do it.
yeah, and it's not because you have a hate for them.
It's not it's not about the
Mm-mm,
ego.
mm-mm.
It's not about hate. It's not about dislike.
It's
It's not
just
about the way they talk. You
it's just the
just
desire
lose
to
that
be with them drops.
taste.
Mhm,
That's the same way that Monjero does. It causes your taste to change.
mhm, mhm.
And that's not thinking you better. That's not putting everybody to the curve.
Right.
It's not looking like your head is in the air and your butt is in the ground. No, it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
You just don't want to eat or taste certain things like you used to.
Mhm.
Now, to somebody else, it may be different.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay.
And
And that's
so
okay.
you learn how to say, it's okay if you want to be in the church circle. It's okay if you want to worship this and worship that, contrary to popular demand.
Yeah.
But when Paul said by revelation he went, that means he had a taste, he had a desire. He wanted to be. But that don't mean he's wrong because he wants to be in that circle. It means that there are some people who don't want to be there.
True. True.
And it's not sin, it's not missing God, it's not letting Jesus down. Everybody don't have a desire to walk the door to door and hold a book up in front of them and say, "Are you saved?" Or to let me lay hands on you and you can be healed, or let me prophesy to you the word of the Lord. Everybody don't have that same desire.
Yeah.
That's that gift that you
Yeah.
were talking about.
Yeah. Now we've been on here an hour and 11 minutes, so we're
Have
gonna.
we been that long?
Yeah, we've been on
Wow,
here
that's
that
quick.
long, but we're gonna let you go in just a second. It's Jill just says, "I'm thinking that the more I resolve the conflict within, the more conflicts with others are minimized." And
Oh,
well, for us, it's stepped up.
let me say it like this, Miss Jill. There will be a time when I'm telling you what's real,
It's stepped up for us,
and you
Jill.
have to talk with somebody that can help you get through this conflict. But let me tell you something, and this is what the guys, the enlightened ones, don't tell you. But the ones who are not enlightened will tell you that it's spiritual warfare, which is not necessarily true.
Okay.
But those who have been through the dark night of the soul in enlightenment will tell you that there will be a time just before you break the opening doors of full awareness of your true identity. It'll seem like all hell breaking loose. And see, when all hell breaks loose, the church world and the spirituality world of the evangelical say, I bind you and loose you. That's not necessary when you find out who you are. When you find out who you are, that warfare is seen from a different perspective.
I'll say it like this. I had a great aunt. We called her Nani. Nani was a person who was very, very brilliant. She had a brilliant mind. She was a school teacher that had retired, and she did seamless sewing,
Yeah,
tailoring for a business after she retired.
I went to her shop many times.
She was an alcoholic. She would sit with a glass of gin and 7-Up on her sewing machine and sip all day long.
Uh huh.
there was a point in her life where her kidneys went bad. And this was obviously at the point where she was about to cross over. But they put her in the hospital and she had kidney failure. And I watched her when she came home. She was tormented because not so much because of the kidney failure, but because of the alcohol. And as she began to cross over, she really fought and struggled. She struggled. She was tormented. So when an identity is really dying,
tell me about it.
some identities don't go peacefully.
Some of them right online with us now is going through that.
Some identities fight hard to remain. And as they do that, there is a lot of upheaval, and that's what you're talking about.
My mom went through that.
So some die peacefully. Some identities die peacefully. Some identities fight tooth and nail.
Some sleep away and some fight.
Yes, until they're just exhausted.
Now, what is that fight?
Until they're exhausted and give up. Yeah.
My mom fought for everything that she could to stay here because she was identified with her possessions, things in her house. When I was growing up, they would lock me out because I didn't want to go with them, and they was possessive over objects and things, fighting.
Yeah. Now, Jill, we got to stop. I know because we're going into something different, but Jill wanted to mention this, and she said, switching gears a little bit, she said a weird thing happened to her. Now, this goes back to what we were saying about the mirroring. She said a weird thing happened. A man kicked, knocked, and banged on her door, and he asked, "Can you hear me?" She said, "I now think that was my ego."
Yeah.
He was yelling at me and kept asking, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah. That fight and struggle that you are in now is not necessarily a demon or Satan. It is termed as that, but your terminology will change if you go all the way into full awareness of your Christ eternal, no dying self.
And she will
fully investigate it, because it's worth everything to go through it now than to wait to the time for the body to shut down and there's a fight.
Well, those of us who have had the intent of embodying that awareness that we have discovered, that self-realization, we do often have these upheavals, and it's because identities that we believed was ourselves, they're beginning to die. And when they do, that's when the upheaval happens.
Now we understand with what we're saying why when some member of the family cross over, leave their bodies, the family fighting over the insurance, the house, the possessions, the car, who gonna get this, who gonna get that. That is the illusion of war and fighting in the self, even when somebody dies. They're even fighting now in some of the classes that I've heard online about whether cremation is permitted or not.
I know there's so many things that people are fighting about.
Attachments. Oh, let me tell you what I saw online. I had a chance to see online one of the classes where they showed a replica of the strings that are tied to our minds and our bodies that are attached to things in the physical world. The umbilical cord. I saw the actual. I dropped my chin. I said, "What?"
You saw what
I had actually experienced when I was under anesthesia coming out. I saw strings attached to different objects, houses, cars, possessions, money, things. I said, "Where are all these strings coming from?" I saw them in the spirit world, and they were attachments that's keeping everybody fighting in this earth realm. When you fully wake up, I saw these cords cut off, broke off of the mind. Some are coming from the stomach, from the top of the head, from the back, from the feet, the legs, and the fingers. I saw them cut. I saw the power of God in the Christ identity cutting everyone.
Or acid grace. Life situation. Cutting it off.
There you go. And that will happen. As you get older, you notice certain things don't bother you like it used to,
or it bothers you more.
or bother you more.
When it bothers you more, that's an identity that's about to
That's
happen.
one of those
That's an
unbettable
identity that's on the table to getting ready to die.
That's right. That's right.
So all of the disturbance is an identity, the beginning of an identity that's
True freedom.
That's crossing over.
I've seen people get delivered from different spirits, different entities, and not fully be delivered. And I found out the reason why is because I was raised, we were brought up in churches where they did all that stuff on the floor, spitting pea soup all over and foaming at the mouth. And then I found out the reason why they wasn't fully delivered was because they did not have anybody to tell them who they really were in their true eternal self.
And like the bariatric surgery,
yeah,
eventually the gremlin comes back.
That everybody,
isn't it interesting that it's called gremlin?
Yeah, it's a gremlin. The doctors call that thing in your stomach,
gremlin.
Craving for that stuff, a gremlin. And it works from the gremlin in your stomach to the subconscious mind.
But yeah, it comes back. But listen, we're going to go now. We're going to go and let you enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Do what you got to do. Enjoy your dinner. Go out and walk or whatever you're going to do.
All I can say is keep your nose clean, your britches on.
Oh, gosh.
Because you are ready to see the truth. And you're seeing it now.
Keep your nose.
Okay.
Okay.
Just a metaphor.
Yeah.
Just the old saying.
They're used to you doing this, but I hope somebody new on there. You just bear with us, okay? You are so welcome, Noel. You are so welcome, baby. You're welcome. Now, listen, we appreciate all of those who have given to us and given and supported the ministry. We appreciate you so much. You have no idea how much we appreciate you. And we want to thank those of you who helped to fund our recent adventure with the house and all. And we still need a little help, but we thank you guys for that. And
yeah, because there's still things that got to be done.
And we're praying and knowing that your abundance is going to manifest itself so that you can even do what we have needs of. So we thank you for all of them. We thank God for the breaking loose of anything
that cash apps and everything.
We thank God for anything that needs to be broken loose for you in the financial area. We know that is about to happen for you. And so we thank God for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Robert. The prodigal son got saved and he came to himself.
That's right.
That's what getting saved is. He came
coming to
himself.
Yourself.
Yes. So we'll be back on Tuesday night. Now, Pastor Norman's not on here today to give me a thumbs up, but I think he'll be with us on Tuesday.
Tuesday night.
He's traveling. Now he's traveling today. He said he's gone somewhere. And so 7:00 on Tuesday, we'll be right back live and in color. And we're going to take off and I don't know what we're going to do today.
Was John Greason on there today?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we'll see you on the turnaround.
Yeah. What are we going to do this evening?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Ask your sister what she going to do.
My sister?
Yeah. You going down there?
No, I'm not going to see Sissy today.
All right.
I love her, but I'm not going to see her.
I don't know what we're going to do.
We do love you.
I guess we'll sit around here and hatch square duck eggs.
I don't think I want to sit around today. I sat all day yesterday. So I don't think I want to do that today. I've got to take care of my baby girl because her throat's been acting up today. And we're going to try to help her a little bit. But we are going to see you on Tuesday. We'll see you, as he said,
on the turnaround. See you later.